guys, welcome back to Mass Talks. We're super lucky today. We're hanging out with Bill RANFORD in Los Angeles, and we have some new presents for you guys. Bill, I can't tell you how many times I tried to imitate your style with the windmill save as a kid.
Yeah, it was an athletic style, put it that way. But back then the goalies played a little bit different. It wasn't as positional as you see today, and I think we were fun to watch.
You were one of the most acrobatic with the glove saves.
Yeah, I wasn't very flexible, so I didn't have the butterfly that other goalies had. So I had to find other ways to stop the puck.
And it worked.
It worked, yeah.
And I would say between you and Grant, you guys had the most iconic mask in the Oilers' history, according to me.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty cool. We both kind of the idea of the oil drop. Most of our masks centered around that.
So when it came time to design your mask, did you have an input on the artwork? Or
no, not back then. It was basically the painter. It was a Harrison mask. It was Harrison.
Harrison did the mask?
Yeah, Harrison. And then later on in my career, I went with Pro Choice, who worked under Harrison. So Don. So
you never had an input on like the artwork?
Not early on. Not early on. Later on in my career, I did. I had a buddy of mine that was involved in quite a few of my masks later on in my career, but and that's when it became very more personal and a lot of fun to. And
which one did you have an input in?
Would have been Tampa, Washington. I didn't have really any input. My buddy was the one that basically came up with the ideas. Right. So most of my masks in the latter part of my career, he had some input with, and my last one he had.
And when you were growing up, did you have any goalies that you idolized, or like any goalie masks you're like?
The mask, there was nothing overly special back then. The two guys that I idolized were probably Ken Dryden and Mike Palmateer.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ken Dryden with
the bullseye.
Yeah, the bullseye, but Mike Palmateer, just his athletic ability. And even though he caught the other way, I liked the way he played.
Yeah, so you mimicked it a bit?
I don't know if I mimicked. I did whatever I could to stop the puck.
And amongst all the masks that you had in your career, which one would you say is your personal favorite, like all the team combined?
Well, probably my most disappointing part of my career was when I was in Tampa. My buddy designed the mask that had Thor, the God of Thunder, on it.
It had some lightnings on the
lightning bolts and stuff. That was probably my favorite mask, but just not my favorite time playing in the nets.
Some people in Edmonton would be upset you didn't choose like your 1990.
No, that was just a personal thing, just because my buddy designed it. But obviously, this one, my first Oiler mask was probably the one that I appreciated the most. Yeah.
You wore it in Canada's Cup and.
Yeah, and then then the second one that you have is the one that changed. That was kind of my second go around. That one was the first one. The oil drop aspect of it changed a little bit. There was a second form of it, and then this one was my third one that I kind of wore.
I remember this when I was like about 10 years old, and that's what you were wearing.
Yeah.
I kept drawing them in school.
Yeah, this was probably the last one that I wore in my first time around with the Oilers, and I think it was the third paint job on the mask.
Right. 94, you won with this mask, right?
I think
this design?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Nowadays, the goalies, they have so many designs on their masks. Do you have like a goalie mask artwork that you prefer right now?
No, I mean, I just like the idea that the guys are putting, special touches to it. When I was in Washington, my oldest daughter, Cassidy, drew a picture of a stickman goalie of me, and we put that on the back plate. And then after that, one of the back plates had both my girls' names that they did, and we just put it on the back plate. So little things like that.
Maybe if you're playing nowadays, you might have your dogs in the back.
I don't know about that. I just had one design for here that my buddy did. Jeff McLean out of Edmonton. It's got all the Hall of Famers for the LA Kings on it, so that's the one I wear in practice when I have to go in.
So you're still playing?
I still play a little bit, not much, only when I have to. Been in 3 or 4 times already this year, and it's a neat mask because we did kind of the stars of the Walk of Fame, but each of the stars are the Hall of Famers.
I'm sure the players, they keep their shots low when you're in there.
No, it's high and hard. I stand up, so it doesn't matter.
Right. The last great stand-up goalie,
exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen. Exactly. Bill, thank you so much for having us.
No, thank
you. It's a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Cheers.